on digital radio, on the app, on your smart speaker, on Twitter, YouTube, Twitch.tv, and Facebook. The Sportscast. Expect the unexpected.
The Jersey Boys Sports Talk presented by The Sportscast.
The Jersey Boys Sports Talk with Victor Arocho and Byron Jones. And here's your host, Victor Arocho.
Let's try it again. Take two. Something's funky. Sorry, fans. It normally goes live. And we're going to have to skip that.
It says live. I'm looking at it.
I know, but I'm trying to click the intro. It's not doing it. Nothing's working. All right, well, let's get it on, ladies. Let's go. Second week in football. That is so weird. All right, let's go live out of Miami, Fort Lauderdale, and today from Atlantic City, New Jersey. Welcome to the Jersey Boys Sports Talk, brought to you by the Sportscast, and your host Byron Jones and Victor Arocho. Today is September 11th. It's a rough day today. September 11th, 2025. If you haven't yet, please subscribe to the Sportscast on all your channels, on your social media channels. You have YouTube, X, Spotify, and iTunes. Don't forget, on your podcast streaming, please leave a rating and review. Look up Jersey Boy Sports Talk. You see a face of me and Byron. And leave a review. It'll help us out it will help us out tremendously. Subscribe to the YouTube channel right now on the Sportscast. If you like what you're seeing, smash the like button. Let's get it on. Mr. Byron Jones, how are you today, and how's the big AC?
The big AC was hot. And then we had the days that was in the 60s.
And there it goes, the beautiful internet of Byron Jones. How can you be in AC without internet? All right, well, we got to get it on. Well, we also have one of our.
It's the old building that I'm staying in.
Is that what it is? All right. We also have one of our guest hosts today, big giant fan. Welcome to the show, Jersey Boys Sportscast, Big Blue Ant. How you doing?
What's going on, fellas? I'm doing good. How about yourselves?
Yeah, you have the nicest hats I always see. So I got to give you some props on the hats.
Yeah, my wife doesn't like it too much, but yeah, it works.
She doesn't like the hats too much?
Nah, because I have too many of them.
Yeah, every time you come on, you have a different hat. It's pretty impressive. I have one, just the regular standard one, because I have way too many hats. The problem is I got so many hats that I have hard problem throwing away. So I have them in storage, but they're like old school. Like I got an XFL hat when it was the inaugural hat, XFL. I went to the Birmingham Bolts game in Birmingham, Alabama, where Alabama used to play. There's a Bear Bryant a statue out there. Okay. So it is old school stadium, like bleachers, right? And then there's this one section that anybody could sit, right? There's this one section in that stadium that was like, you could see the paint came off. It was all gold. It was the only ones that had chairs, but they were metal. Those were like $1 million seats. Like, It was crazy. And then it was super old. And then it was funny. The fans, my buddy, I was a client, but he's a friend of mine, had taken me there. And he's like, oh, this is going to be the next greatest thing when it first came out. And I was like, dude, there's no way. But let me tell you, they outdrank the beer. They had to go get more beer. People in Alabama don't mess around. They were walking out with cases. It was like $45 a case. Like they were super expensive. But it was interesting to be in that stadium that Bear Bryant was in, you know what I mean? And to see what they were selling, like, you know, when the days of Bear Bryant, they were selling tickets big time, you know? So Byron, how you doing today? A little better?
Hold on. Can you hear me now?
I can hear you. I can hear you fine. We can hear you fine. All right, let's go. Let's go. Remind me to read these banners out loud. Santiago keeps trying to remember me, and I'm the guy who started the banners. All right, so let's go over. He doesn't have it the way I want it though. All right, let's Giants. His lost 3. Man, look at the Giants. This is terrible. Giants has. Okay, if I read these banners out loud, you need to spell. The Giants have lost its last 3 openers by combined 89 and 12. Okay, what's your name today? You just put Giants. You didn't put Sad Giants fan, Byron. Usually Byron has some kind of different. He has a different name. He has a different name every week. We're 89 and 12. Okay, 89-12 in openers. All right. So let me tell you, just so you know, Big Blue, we Joey Bag of Donuts was on the show last week. Joey's Big Pittsburgh, and we were talking. We all picked. We picked the Giants. I think Joey picked Washington. I'm not sure. I think Joey picked the Bucks. I'll show you in a second. Just because it was the first game, the Giants looking good. Maybe get a little rust out, and I got to pick once. But you'll see as the season goes on, I'm going to pick who I really think is the better team. Right? If I think there's a shot, I'll pick the Giants. If I don't think there's a shot, I'm not picking the Giants. As I'd like to see it, right?
I agree.
Byron has winning the NFC East, so we'll see how that goes. But 21-6, and they just looked horrible. Okay, horrible. Look at 432 yards in total yards for Washington, 231 for New York. So that's like a passing. They had double the total yards. Here's the funny part. They doubled the total yards, and I'm a big guy when it comes into like time of possession. Yet the Giants had the ball for like a minute more. So they had the ball for a minute more and produced half of the offense Washington had. Let me just go over the stats, and I want to get you guys' opinions on it. All right, well, let's go. We had 157 yards versus 212. 74 putrid yards versus 220. Talk about a balanced attack on Washington. Average yards 6.6, 3.7. 25 first downs. Fourth down efficiency 1 of 2. 65 to 62 plays. We got three sacks, and we only allowed 2. They punted 5. We punted 6. I mean, where did this game go wrong, Byron? If you look at that on paper, besides the total yard, the other stats, what's going on? I'm trying to look at fumbles. There's no interceptions. There's only 1 extra punt. We even got 1 more sack than they did. It was just we couldn't run the ball. Byron?
We couldn't run the ball. We couldn't stop the run. The whole team watching it. It was like watching that movie with Bill Murray, Groundhog Day. The same thing that we've been doing the last 15 years, that we can't run the ball, we can't stop the run, the offensive line is awful, and they keep saying, as far as like Andrew Thomas, once he comes in, it's going to be better. The 3 guys in the middle, JMS, Van Roten, and the other dude, Runyon, got blown up all game long. And then my man, Dexter, I love defensive lineman, but I didn't hear his name called not once the whole game.
Yeah.
And that's a big problem. They can't stop the run, and they can't run the ball.
No.
Big Ant? Big Blue?
It's the same issue as it's been Eli's last 3 years. After that last Super Bowl, we've had maybe 1 or 2 decent lines. Since then, we've had nothing. We've had 2016 where, the boat picture came out. Then we had a couple years ago where Daniel Jones and Saquon brought the Giants to the playoffs. And that's pretty much it. Last year, they looked okay, the offensive line. But again, the Giants have done everything backwards. They're going skill position, skill position, skill position, and they haven't worked on the big guys up front. They're constantly pieceworking things. It doesn't work like that. Anybody that knows the NFL and rebuilding teams knows you start with that offensive line. Now, as much as I hate Dallas, they do it right every year. They get those big, strong, beefy guys that are going to do their jobs, even if they can't do their jobs because they're so big, they cause a disturbance. But I mean, the Giants have consistently, year after year after year, avoided the offensive line. They're just piecemealing stuff together, and it's just not working. I don't understand why it's taken so
long. Big Blue, I'm telling you, you must have been listening to our show for the last 6 years, because that's exactly what Byron and I have been talking about, right? It starts in the trenches. It starts with the offensive line. I mean, no matter who's back at quarterback, right? First of all, the NFC East has the most Super Bowls of any division, number one, right? Number two, when the NFC East is playing well, the other teams are scared, right? Because we beat each other up, but we beat each other playing big boy football. Now, out of all the teams, Dallas is more of the offensive juggernaut, the beauty team. But Philly is in the trenches, right? Washington in the trenches, right? So in the NFC East, you have to good offensive line and defensive line. You have to have good to play well in that. It's almost like we're the SEC I don't want to get that far, but we're the SEC of the NFL. You know what I mean? Our team's won the most. Everybody in the division has won a title. But we've been saying it for years. What are we doing with the line? We'll pick Byron's favorite thing is we'll pick a tackle that was a real good tackle, a guard that's a real good tackle out of college, and move them to a different position. We'll take a left guard, move him to right tackle, right? Byron, why don't you elaborate on that? How many times has that happened? And what was the point of picking him if you're not going to let him with what the kid played in college? Byron?
Well, let's speak about 30 seconds for that one. You have Evan Neal. I'm not pointing fingers at the kid, but he was the 7th player picked or whatever number he was picked in the draft. There's no way possible they could not have seen that he could not block edge rushers in the NFL. He had 2, Will Anderson and Turner, those kids, every day at Alabama. So you mean to tell me when the scouts go down there, they couldn't see that he's not a right tackle? Now, it took him, 4 years to figure out the movement size. But then last week, instead of having him active, he was standing on the sidelines, in street clothes. So either you're going to play the kid or get rid of him or do at least see what he can do, because I'm pretty sure he could have done better than the guy that's in front of him. There's no way that he's that bad that they just can't even put him on the field.
No, and ever since they moved him over to guard, I think he's been much better.
Yeah, but you don't know, like in a game situation, and it's different, preseason and practice and all this other stuff. So taking, okay, this guy played bad, Van Roten or either guard, it doesn't matter. Put him in and see what he can do. Put, Embo, the other kid, the right time, put him in. Somebody
he started
and see if they can play. Not keep people. Oh well, you know what? Let's throw this guy out this week and throw this one. And it just seems that like the center JMS, the last 3 years he's been getting blown up. He gets blown up every single game when he steps out there. And now they signed a practice squad guy from, I forgot what team, but they signed a center.
From
So
Baltimore.
what are they gonna do? So what are they gonna do now? Are they gonna give him a couple more weeks and put this kid in, or because I don't see any other centers that on the team that I would even think about throwing out there.
Right. I mean, well, if you look at it too, I think last time I was on the show, we talked about how the Giants, before they ended up picking up that second center, that they basically, their depth chart consisted of only Schmitz at center. And I'm sitting here going, how does that work? He hasn't been great the last couple of years if he's not hurt. And you're going to come into the season with one and then a no name, like I haven't heard of the other guy until we just, picked up this other guy from Baltimore. But again, what Victor was saying, it's like the Giants for a long time now have been like grabbing guys who are good at one position, and they're sitting there with this mentality of, well, we want guys that are versatile, that we can move around. No, let's work these guys at what they do best. Because if we don't figure that out, we're not going to figure out anything else. And they just refuse to do that. Now, another thing, I don't mean to take up too much time, but I was talking to some friends today about it. The one thing that the Giants have been missing over since Tom Coughlin, and Coughlin was still a bit of a offensive-minded coach. We haven't had that defensive-minded coach since. And those are the kinds of coaches. You look around the NFL, for the most part, those coaches are the ones that are getting results. The Giants have signed offensive-minded coaches for the last, 10 years, and nothing. We got to go back to Giants football, to pounding the ball, to defenses. That's where we got to go again.
And the sad part about that is pretty much, all our Super Bowls, even though Eli did a great job when it came down, but we won from a defensive perspective, right? The Eagles won last year from a defensive game, right? We win defensively. Right, there's no confusion when we played. And Byron and I, we've been talking about the line forever. Like, how come we're not remaking that line, no matter who you put back there? With that said, it's funny that you were saying that we're having guys try to play multiple positions. You know what? Like in business, in regular business and operations, that works, right? You want to have cross-trained people so you could if someone needs help, you could put it. In football, it don't work that way. You can't put an offensive line and make him an edge rusher. Right, you can't take a tight end. Sometimes you can, but you can't make him a slot guy or receiver for the whole time. Right, his purpose is blocking. You can't just interchange players as much as you can. There's certain positions you can. You can't just anybody can't be a quarterback. Right, but with that, so I just wanted to bring that up. And Byron and I have been talking about the line forever, and you make a good point. The other thing is, and we haven't talked about that a lot either, Byron, is the fact that he's right. We keep getting offensive-minded coaches. Like we keep getting this quarterback whisperer kind of guy. But stop. That's not Giant football, right? None of our quarterbacks were superstars. Eli, why I love Eli is because when the game was on the line and he went through as a visiting team, he played at his highest level. You can't take that away. But Phil Simms, Hostetler, I mean, think about it. We won with Phil Simms and then Hostetler. You had LT. We played defense. A couple wide right kicks helped us as well, right? But it was defensive game, and we ran the ball with 3 running backs, right? I don't know why we're trying to go through an offensive-minded coach. We've never played that football. We're not San Francisco. We don't need the Sean McVays. We need a defensive coach, right? And I think we need a defensive coach where the offensive coordinator is totally focused on the offense. Let the defense, the head coach and the defense coordinator run the defense. Stop. Defense wins championships, right? But you got to put up points. But defense at the end is what holds them, because you can see the league is geared more, putting up way more points than it was in the past. But with that said, I wanted to bring this up. He has him. Dable. Here's the other part, right? Giants, Dable. Russell Wilson will start versus Cowboys. Look, I don't know what Russell Wilson has in the tank, right? But I don't think that's the issue, right? Look, we don't know, right? Maybe something can happen. I don't know. But I'm just thinking, based on what we're talking about right now, it's the same issue, Byron, on this show we've been talking about for years. We always talk about the lines. As much as you were defending Daniel Jones, and there was a couple times I say, okay, Daniel Jones, right? But he still had a problem, right? It's the line. So the fact that they're constantly going up and down with Russell Wilson, that shouldn't be the headline of the story, Byron.
Yeah, but when you have, Russell Wilson is a shorter call. He's not a big guy at all. Do you think maybe that you would roll him out to the right or just roll him away, from the pressure that's coming in his face? Because the interior of the line is, for some reason, not holding up. And maybe they don't want to roll him out because he might get killed from one of the tackles, or that played, pretty bad. It's just, there's no imagination, as far as getting him, outside the pocket where he's not getting smacked in the mouth, because as soon as he, the ball's back there, the lineman beat the ball back there. Mm-hmm. And it's just weird that, like, the one play when Scatterboo got blown up. How is it that the guard basically tackled him on the goal line?
Right.
The guard got blown up, pushed into him, and tackled him pretty much. How does that happen? You're on the goal line. That shouldn't happen.
No.
And that's not a Russell Wilson issue.
No.
No.
But they need
That's a line. That goes. It's a line issue.
But they need to be more creative. They need to get him outside the pocket, which he did in Seattle. Get him outside the pocket where he doesn't have all that pressure in his face. But by doing, roll him out to the side, then you're cutting the field in half, and you're limiting your options. And then you got to worry about if that, he was pretty good with tight ends. Theo Johnson, I don't know why Daniel Bellinger is in the doghouse or whatever. Me personally, I like Bellinger better than Johnson.
So do I.
Johnson drops the ball, and if they see a 6'6", 260-pound guy, and they're trying to force feed him, into the game, and it's just not working.
No.
Big Blue, back to Russell Wilson. What are your thoughts on making that the narrative all the time?
I agree with you guys.
Than the quarterback.
I think that Russell Wilson. Okay, part of Russell Wilson. Now he did show a couple plays where he still got some wheels on him, but again, it's like Byron said, he's not a tall guy. You got these monstrous guys, and he's got to find his lanes. But again, if the defense's front line is beating or coming back with the ball, Russell can't even think to run outside or do anything. I mean, Russell, I'd like to believe over the years I've watched him, he's a pretty smart quarterback. He would know, get out of the pocket, throw the ball away. He didn't even get time to do that. And it's ridiculous. One thing I've seen or haven't seen the Giants do in a long time, and it's always worked, and I think with the running backs we have, it would work because Cam Scatterbo has good hands. He did it a lot in Arizona State. And you got Tyrone Tracy, who's a former wide receiver, so his hands are decent. Why aren't we running screens? Why are we not running screens? You get 4 or 5 yards out of a screen, it sets you up better. We can't even do that right.
Well, two things with that. One, I got a couple comments on each one of you. Screens, we should be running screens because they're already pushing our line back. I mean, don't even run a screen from the outside. Run the old school screen, right? Byron, remember where they come in and you're dumping it over their head? Run it right in front of them.
Right.
Because that's where they're coming after us. They're coming up the middle. Run a middle screen. Don't even run a side screen because side screens scare me with this team because they're quick enough. They jump the ball. Daniel Jones, how many times he's almost got picked from doing a side screen? Run a middle screen from time to time because maybe that'll slow them down from the penetration because we can't run the ball, right? So if we can't run the ball, Byron, the second your defensive line is stopping the run, tell me you're not just biting at the chop. You're about to tee off because you want to sack.
We're teeing off of everything, and I'll beat you at the quarterback.
Yeah, exactly. You're saying who's going to get the quarterback because they can't run on us. Might as well. They have no choice to pass, so you're going to run. You're going to go after them, right? Well, if you can't run, you got to change it. I agree with Big Blue. Run some type of screen. The only thing I'd like to see is you got to run. I haven't seen a middle screen in a long time, by the way. I'd run a middle screen, right? I'd run a middle screen, stop it, let those linebackers come because let them now have to worry about the middle. If they worry about the middle, make them roll out. Now, to answer Byron's question, if we do some of that, they got to worry about the middle screen. Now, let's roll them out. And roll them to the right. I hate when they start rolling these guys to the left right off the bat. Right? Roll them to your strong side, tell them. And Byron, you're right. It's taking half the side of the field. But we got Malik Neighbors. We got guys that could come, just drag them. Do a drag. Do a drag route. Come them across. Bring all your receivers to one side. That's the only chance we have. We could and layer them, dump the shorter one, dump the deep one, and we know Russell could throw the deep ball, right? Malik Neighbors will get out there. Malik Neighbors is going to get his, right? But they're not doing any of that. I mean, because I'd rather take my chances him running outside, Byron, because him sitting there, once he sits there too long, he can't get outside anymore. They put, instead of having the cup of the offensive line, it's a cup of defensive players. There's nowhere to go. You can't run up the middle. You can't run outside. They got to do something. I just don't like the headlines around Russell when you've done a terrible job as an organization of building what wins the trenches. I mean, the Eagles are winning at the line, right? Okay. Kansas City last year, Byron, what did you say? Their offensive line was terrible. right? What do you got? 6 sacks against them? I mean, think about it. It's all about the line, right? Every team has to beef up their lines. I mean, you don't have to push this because you don't have a good line, right?
Yeah.
So let's go into, and then let's go into a little, Byron.
But we've been talking about this, man, for years. How
I understand.
I don't understand why how they just can't fix it. It's mind-boggling that is that bad, and it's been for years.
It's pretty sad when the fans know the answer and the organization's not doing anything about it.
Yeah, I mean, it's what's terrible. It's a common thought between the fans, and obviously those guys get paid a lot of money to do what they do. They've had some success, but what is it they're seeing there? We're not. I mean, you're really bad, right? Remember, Byron, when I said in the beginning of the season, well, let's not play our players because they don't get hurt. You're terrible. Play your starters. It doesn't work. You suck. Play your starters. Get them ready now. See what you have now. Because if you're just trying to evaluate the other players they're all terrible. What you cut down are not working. Now, in defense of the players, I think it's on the coaches. Right? The coaches got to coach them up too. And the coaches got to put them in the right position. We can't, like Big Blue was talking about, we're moving guys around in positions that they're not used to. Right? And so that's that. We got here. Abdul Carr had half a sack in his debut. Okay, half a sack I'll take. But the guy who really impressed me was the one you keep mentioning, Byron. Now I know his name is Brian Burrows. He had 2 sacks. He played. He balled out. But he's not the guy that was picked. What we yell at Joey saying on the scene. Abdul Carter, Dexter Lawrence. I mean, he needs help. There's no reason why we're not putting pressure. We look better in preseason, and obviously you said it already, John Byron. We've done this before, 5-0, and then gone, get blown out in the games. So I just, Abdul Carter, I think is still going to be good. Maybe it takes him some time to get things going. But the thing is, one player is not going to help us. We need that team to play as a unit.
He was really nervous, and you could tell because there was 2 plays in particular where he's running at Jaden Daniels and he's got his hands up like he's trying to block a shot or something, in a basketball game. Like, if he would have been the Abdul Carter that we saw at Penn State and just ran through the kid, end of story. Not saying it would have made a bigger difference because our offensive line is still who they are, but it would have made – I think he's going to be fine. I think he's shaking off the nervousness, and he's trying so hard not to do the wrong thing that it's preventing him from doing the right thing.
Yeah, he's young and he's a rookie. Look, I still have faith in him. I'm not going to give up on these young players like him.
No, not at all.
But again, I just think that I just hate that, like, the talk on the shows is, what do you do with Wilson? Should we hurry up and start Dart? I don't want a guy that we picked in the first round to get hurt. Right? J.J. McCarthy looked good after looking really bad, but he also didn't play a year. He got to see another guy that was a backup become a superstar that nobody would have thought of in Sam Darnold, but he waited it out. Look at Jordan Love. Jordan Love is cutting it up. He waited 4 years. 4 years. Aaron Rodgers waited 4 years. Why are we so rushed to put these kids in? We put Daniel Jones in earlier than we should have. We were already terrible. Danny DeVito, we won 1 game. We got super excited. Dude, 1 game doesn't make a season.
No.
Byron?
What's the common denominator with all those teams? They built up the line first before they threw them out there. Every last one of them.
Yep.
Every last one of those teams built up their lines before, and put weapons around them, for them to succeed, not just throwing them to the wolves.
No, the fact still remains and always has remained. You're only as good as your offensive line. It's just the way it is. If they can't block for you, you can't play.
Nope. I don't care who you are.
No, not at all.
What am I missing here? Why is it coming up? Oh, here it is. All right. I want to bring up the next game. Yeah, I mean, again, just the fact that I don't really want Jackson Dart to go in. To be honest with me, the guy I'd like to see go in next, even though they changed him to depth chart, would be Winston. right?
Yep.
I would like to see Winston go in that. Why? You're going to go from a shorter quarterback to a really tall quarterback, right? Who's got experience, right? And let's see what he can do. He's also a big, strong guy, right? Let's give him a little bit of time. Give Dart some time to start watching and looking underneath him. And maybe Winston can win a few games and then move him. The other thing is Winston does good. He has more trade value.
Right.
Right? Let's say he does good and you decide he has more trade value. Let's get some assets because we left two guys that did really well. Daniel Jones did pretty well this opening game. He did better than they have since 2016 when Peyton Manning.
Yeah.
Okay. Saquon's getting his. So those are two players that we got zero for. No trade value, no picks, no nothing. Worth what? $90 million in a season? I mean, come on, get something for Winston. Winston probably wants to go to the Saints. And we go from here. By the way, the update was on Andrew Thomas' injury status is uncertain. So Byron, supposedly he's injured. I want to go into
he didn't play the last game.
Yeah.
Might not play this weekend.
Yep.
I want to go in. Let's get into stay in the NFC East because now there's a lot of stuff, good stuff going on. The Dallas, we were talking about, how these other teams, the Dallas Eagles game. Let me tell you, Dallas, as much as I don't like Dallas, CeeDee Lamb got paid all that money. He dropped 3 passes in his hands. They should have won that game.
Mm-hmm.
And I don't want to hear two things of it. I don't want to hear that, well, we're not playing in preseason, Byron. Come on. I don't want to hear that anymore. You lost, CeeDee Lamb took responsibility. CeeDee Lamb's worth all the money. He's a great player. But Dak hit him in the hands. That game should have changed. Not that I root for Dallas, but look, if we can get help by knocking off Eagles one game, because they're going to get better. Right. And then Washington's good. And somewhere we can make that mix. Maybe Byron's prediction comes out. Right. But I'm just saying to you, we need the NFC East to knock each other off. You understand? Mm-hmm. And that game was winnable. Let me tell you, there was a winnable game. Look at the numbers. 302 Eagles, 307 total yards. Passing 144 to 188, not counting 3 drops. Rushing yards. 119 to 158, right? Yards per game, first downs. I mean, this game was pretty much even the entire game. Time of possession. The only difference, though, time of possession, right? Even with that, they lost by 4 points. Time of possession, they had the ball for 9 minutes more, the Eagles, right? Yet they only ran 6 more plays. That's kind of weird. Right? I guess the rushing yards helped them or eating up the clock.
It's right? That tush push.
9 penalties. Here's a problem again, Byron. Here's a problem again with the Eagles. 9 penalties, 110 yards, Byron. Haven't we heard that before?
Yeah, the preseason rust. That's what that
Didn't we discuss that before?
Yeah.
Discipline?
Yeah.
That's Byron. That's more yards than Giants. They had more penalty yards than Giants had rushing. All right.
Yeah.
Dallas had 442, 9 for 110. Bro, that's 11. That's 11 yards of penalty per penalty. That's a lot of penalties. And with that, you won by 4.
Yeah,
that's crazy.
Don't forget that George Pickens wasn't a factor at all in that game. You didn't even hear his name or anything.
He had like one good catch and only for like a first down.
And that was it.
Yeah.
Well, he had one good, and CeeDee Lamb dropping 3 passes. It doesn't help when you're not getting the ball to Pickens, and this guy's dropping 3 passes, right? And Dak looks good. Did you see him preseason? He looks ripped. So anyhow, that was that game. But again, Byron, I know you're saying it's preseason, but a couple years ago we kept talking about y'all got to you need some discipline there. They were having penalty and yard problems. This is not new with the Eagles.
You figure the biggest lack of discipline was Jalen Carter spitting on Dak Prescott. That was the biggest. That changed the whole game without him playing.
I got to say, I think the punishment fit the crime in that situation. I think him being suspended that game and then fined the way they did I think that's the way it should have went down. I don't think he should have got suspended in another game. I am hearing Eagles fans, because I am in the Philly area, I am hearing Eagles fans crying, well, Dak spit at him first. No, Dak spit on the ground. He didn't spit on the guy. That's where the difference is. Players spit on the ground near guys all the time. He directly spit on him.
Well, I will tell you that Dominique from one of the sports casts, his comment was, Dak didn't spit on him, but he goes like him as a player would never like spit like right there where his own players are. He would like turn his head. You know what I mean? When I saw that, I could have, in the heat of the moment, I could have felt, the second guy gets caught. That's how I look at it, right? But he spit forward looking at Jalen Carter, right? So I just think Jalen Carter has to be more disciplined, especially in a game that you want to make sure you win. You get fined, and he got lucky because, to be honest with you, I thought he was going to get suspended for several games.
Well, he did lose $57,000.
That's a lot.
He did lose $57,000, right? The other thing, Byron, was surprising to me. Remember? Yeah, go ahead, big.
No, I was just going to say, I the whole thing with Dak spitting on the ground between his players and in Carter's direction. To me, I like to call those the Dennis Rodman effect, because Dennis Rodman's job was to get in guys' heads to do, show a little disrespect so that they react, and that's basically what Dak did. He provoked them.
Yeah.
And
the sad part, he spit back right where the ref was right next to him, though. Yeah. Yeah. I mean, if you want to get at him, do a Lawrence Taylor. Go at him and tell him I'm coming back. Because Jalen Carter's a big guy. And then, Byron, you know what I want to say? Remember last week, Joey was on, we were going back and forth. We'll talk a little bit about Pittsburgh. Big Blue, what we were saying is that the offensive unit, when we're talking about preseason and so forth, the offense is harder to get clicking because they need to be more in sync than the defensive side. Right? Defense is easier to play. It's not that defense is easy, right? You still got to know schemes. You just got to still know what the receivers are running. You got to still know, where the guy puts his line down. There's a lot of things you got to watch from a defensive perspective. But on offense, every player has to move. It's like a swim in synchronicity, right? They got to move in order. Let me tell you, this weekend, it looked like the defense was the one that didn't play in preseason because everybody was running on everybody. Right. And I was like, okay, it was contradictory to everything I said.
They don't practice the tackling. That's what the issue is. The tackling. Because you figure, you're not going to be, button up with, the ones, the way they do. Like back in the day, what they used to do. Them guys don't do that anymore. They tackle bags, and things like that. And, it takes a while, for you to get used to tackling a live body.
Yeah. The tackles today aren't even tackles. These guys are shoulder tackling. Like, you want to do that near the sideline to get the guy out of bounds. I'm all for it. You don't want to hurt anybody. That's fine. But if you're in the middle of the field and you're trying to shoulder tackle, like, come on, man. We can get somebody else that can do that.
Well, I think two things that are happening. It's not only just shoulder tackling, is that they're going for a strip ball and not going for a tackle, right? So when you go for a strip ball, you're not grabbing a guy, right? So if you're going to strip ball and he gets away from you, he continues going, right? Or they're trying to punch the ball. They're not trying to tackle, right? So I think a lot of that, but there was a lot of offense being put up, and a lot of it was running. Like the first 8 possessions of this game, I'm glad I didn't stay up for the second half because it was terrible. The first 8 possessions of this game, they all scored. Mm-hmm. It went back and forth 4 times. Each team scored in the first half. Yeah. That was amazing to me. Well, Jalen Carter, I think he's good. Had Jalen Carter, let's see, what did it say here? Had Jalen Carter spit on Dak Prescott during the 3rd or 4th quarter, he would have been suspended for week 2.
Probably.
Why does that matter? Why would that matter, Byron?
Because what he did was like, it was pretty much before the game started.
6 seconds.
Yeah, so I guess they figured that was enough, that he got, he got ejected for the whole game, and he's going to get fined, and then why, fine him and then suspend him, for the next game when pretty much he didn't play the whole game. So that's their.
Well, that makes sense because he was out of game. I mean, if you think about it, right? I mean, he was out.
That's why I said earlier. That's why I said earlier, I think the punishment fit the crime. You know, he got suspended for the one game technically, and he got a big fine.
Mhm. What's the game on? Is there a game on Prime? Yeah,
I think so.
it's on Prime, right? Yeah. I'll just put it on there. You can't, so we can't hear it. This is what happened last week. Yeah, look, I just think it goes back to discipline. The Eagles from time to time lose discipline, right? I just think that was really, really bad. And then do that right in front of someone. I mean, come on, man. You're a big guy like that. You can get at him a different way. Yes or no, Byron?
The crazy thing is, they had a college kid just did the same thing this past weekend.
Yeah, well, he won't get fined $57,000.
He'll get suspended.
All right. So we got Dallas there. We got Giants and the Commanders. That's all the NFC East. All right. Let's go.
7-0, by the way, Green Bay.
Yeah, and I'm telling you, Green Bay is going to be hot.
Yeah, I agree.
Okay. What do you think about? Here's the funny part. Buccaneers Falcons. Let me tell you, the Buccaneers Falcons was a nice game. Buccaneers 23, Falcons 20. I thought the Falcons were going to come in and win that game. Be honest with you, when they were driving down, I really did. But you know, the one thing about Baker Mayfield, you just never know what you get out of him. I like him. I love his moxie. But it's almost like he can take a team just so far. Like he can get a team just so excited and can't get past. You know, he still can't pass him, but he played well. You know what I mean? What'd you think about that game, Byron?
Well,
I think you picked them, man.
He definitely found a new receiver, the kid from Ohio State, Abuka. I think he had two passes.
Yeah.
So now he's going to have more weapons. You figure Godwin's out now. He's going to have Evans and this kid. So he has a nice bunch of toys in the toys box right now, Baker Mayfield.
Oh, yeah. And then let's go to this game here. Packers, 27 Lions. Byron, what do you think's happened with the Lions? Lost several coaches, right? They got a lot of their defensive players back, but I mean, they didn't look good, and their defense looks really good, and their offense looks really good. Jordan Love is playing some ball.
Yeah. And you figure, what's the name got in there? That guy Dallas got rid of, Micah Parsons, he played like at least 30 plays. He played a lot. You know, I didn't think he was going to play that much. But the Eagles, not the Eagles, but the Lions using both of their coordinators, I think that hurt them a lot because they just did not look like the Lions, that we've seen the last 2 or 3 years at all. They looked all out of sync. And, hopefully, Dan Campbell can, right the ship. But right now, it don't look good for them.
No, it don't.
Yeah, it don't look like the Lions for the past 3 years. Now, it's one game. It's the first game. Packers remember, here's the funny part. Byron, you know how we were always saying the Packers are a really young team? Like, they're going to be dangerous? By adding Micah Parsons, it lowered their average age. So they were already a young team. Adding a 25-year-old generational player just lowered their average age.
Yeah.
Right? That team's going to be tough. It's going to be tough. And it's going to be tough to beat them when it gets cold.
Yeah. Don't forget the New Jersey guy, Rashawn Garrett, New Jersey.
Yep.
Don't forget the New Jersey guy.
Yep.
Yeah. Well, they all played well. I mean, and I was happy to see Micah get a sack, to be honest with you. He ran. They said he ran 35 yards to get that sack. Okay, and then one thing I didn't know, Byron. I learned, who was it? I forgot what team it was. Byron, I didn't realize that if you're still behind the line and a quarterback steps out of bounds, it's considered a sack against the offensive line.
It is.
Yeah. So there was a player, one like Alowski, one of them brought it up, or Manning brought it up. When I was watching Manning cast, he was saying, man, don't just throw the ball away, but don't do that to your offensive line. Think of your offensive line because they get the dig, right? It shows that they gave up a sack when the guy stepped out of bounds, the quarterback. If the quarterback is rolling and he's going to play and he doesn't cross the line and steps out of bounds, it's considered a sack. I didn't realize that.
I didn't either.
It was an accident. I got to look it up and how it's exactly explained. We'll find out for next week. But that's the deal. Hey, we got to give Dan Jones some props. Oh, this is the wrong game. Sorry. Get Cardinals Saints. We picked the Cardinals, Byron, but I really don't care. I didn't care much about that game. The game really didn't make anything.
Yeah, the little guy, he played well. They're the Cardinals.
Yeah.
Here, you want to see something funny? By the way, somebody, let's go. Here, the Cardinals. 49ers placing Kittle on injured reserve. That's hurt. And Brock Purdy's out.
Yep.
Really?
What's his name? Play? Shoot. Who's the quarterback? He's Mac Jones. Yeah. Mac Jones for the Patriots. He's going to back him up. Purdy just made all that money, and he's already out. So I guess he got a new apartment, right? Because he can afford an apartment now, right, Byron?
Yeah, he can afford one in San Francisco now.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, Kittle's on injured reserve. That's not good for them. Hey, I'm gonna get to the game that I wanted to talk about though. Cowboys, the Colts. I don't see it here. Yeah, the Colts. Here we go.
There it is.
The Colts. Dude, I don't know what's worse. The Colts playing so well, the Dolphins playing so bad. I can't imagine what Papa Paul needs. But Papa Paul called it, didn't he? He was not looking forward to this season with the Dolphins. And I think the coach is out after this year.
Oh yeah, for sure. When your coach comes to the press conference after the game and he's literally at a loss for words, you know it's not good.
No.
Yeah, he forgot what he said. He said something that didn't sound too good, right?
No.
But Daniel Jones tied a record for most points in the first half, I think, since that's what I was saying before, which since 2020. Didn't have 20 points in the first half?
Something like that. Wait a minute. Hey, Victor, could you say his name? Victor, say his name again.
Daniel Jones.
Okay, I'll just check it.
Danny Dimes. He looked like Danny Dimes.
Time out. He plays the Dolphins, bro. We both picked them to win, so come on. You know what I mean? It's still playing the Dolphins. The Dolphins look really bad. They did look good. He did put up some stuff. Hey, remember, I'm the guy that wanted to see him play. I wanted to see him play at least a game with the Vikings because I'm thinking Sam Darnold's doing so well. Daniel Jones was a good downfield passer. I want to see what he would have done in that system with Kevin O'Connell. Right. But I'm happy for the kid. I mean, I'm happy for the kid. I still think that, for a kid coming from Duke, he's so smart. He never knew when to slide. I mean, of the years that you've seen him play, come on, there was times that he needed to slide and he didn't slide. He was terrible in the red zone. Now, granted, his offensive line stunk. There was a lot of different things going on. Don't get me wrong. But he was bad decisions in the red zone. I mean, we used to give up the ball. We couldn't even score a field goal because we were turning it over in the red zone.
No, pretty much the same thing.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Did you guys get a chance to see his interview on the Pat McAfee show?
Yeah, I saw it.
He took a subtle shot at the Giants. He was basically telling Pat, it works a lot when you got receivers that are getting open and you get some time behind that line. Like, I'm sitting there going, oh no. But I'm happy for him.
If we're gonna go to takes, I am too. As much as Byron doesn't believe so, but I am happy for him. But the best take clip that I think I've ever seen came from this game. Came from this game. You're a 40-year-old quarterback. You only got a little bit of time. You got a lot of money. And he literally, I think it was a mic drop. He goes, so was this statement you want to make? He goes, yeah, I wanted to tell the entire – and this was a shot at the Jets organization for all those guys thinking I still couldn't play. I couldn't. He put up 4 TDs. Now their defense was terrible, right? We put up 4 TDs, but come on, you got to admit what he said at the podium. That's a veteran quarterback that knows his time is limited. He doesn't have to worry about he's going to go back to the Jets, and he doesn't care. And he put up 4 TDs, right? And I was happy for him. Happy for the Steelers. Go ahead, Byron.
It was against the Jets. They're still the Jets. You know,
the Jets look pretty good, to be honest with you.
It's still
Justin
funny,
Fields
though.
looked good.
It's still funny, though. I mean, when you literally say, it's not about beating the team. I actually put the loss on the whole organization. I'm like, oh, my God.
Well, think about it, man. He was upset. They flew him all the way across.
Yeah, that was
the country.
They made him pay himself. They didn't fly him anywhere. He had to pay for it.
And he had, okay, it's even worse.
Yeah, basically to tell him something they could have told him over the phone.
That's what really pissed him off, right?
Yeah.
I think that he lit him up. But what I'm concerned with, and what we talked about this with Joey. Okay, I don't know what's going on. I think I'm trying to pull up the stats for Steelers game and Jets. It's not happening. But we were talking about this with Joey. Where is the Steeler defense?
Preseason.
I mean, they got. I think they got one of the highest paid defenses. Where were they? I mean, you give the Jets 32 points. I can't get into anything. It says I'm connected.
Preseason mode.
Yeah, I really don't like. I look at these games and I really can't judge until at least week 3, because then you got a little hold on what's going on, who's settled down, who's coming out guns a-blazing. It takes about 3 weeks to really get a feel for who's going to do what.
Everybody says that, but for me,
but it's the truth.
For me, look, you get paid. You get paid to play. You got to play, and you're waiting. And then they're just wasting fans' time and money. They should lower the tickets for the first 4 games. Then
they ain't doing
at the end of the day, I mean, what are you watching? I understand that, but I mean, it's terrible, right? You're not. Here, let me go look at the yards. Look at here. Let's go player stats.
They should bring back the one player.
Aaron Rodgers threw. Was that?
No, I'm just saying they should bring back the one, that extra preseason game and let the starters get into that game, and then you start your season. I mean, again, I understand you don't want to get guys hurt, but you're damned if you do and you're damned if you don't.
Well, wait till they go to 18 games and only 2 preseason games. That's coming. That's right down the road.
Oh, I'm sure it is.
Aaron Rodgers was 22 of 30. That's impressive. 244 yards, 4 touchdowns, 0 interceptions. He balled out. Okay? He balled out. What they don't have is a rushing game. No. Right? They need a rushing game because they had 53 yards rushing. That is terrible. Look at the Jets had more offense. The Jets put up almost 400 yards against that Steelers defense. That's a problem. Now you got an offensive quarterback, and you're not stopping defense, and it's the Jets. So you got to give Aaron good. Jets played well. Justin Fields played well. Let's see what his numbers were. Justin Fields played way better than I was expecting.
Yeah,
to be honest.
He played better than a lot of people expected.
He only had 1 touchdown, but he threw 16 to 22, which isn't bad. He had 218 yards, right? But they had a lot of yards rushing. They were running the ball right down the throat of the Steelers. Overview, here's team stats. And then ball possession for the Jets was almost 10 minutes more than and then the Steelers. The problem is the Jets had 7 penalties for 74 yards versus 4 of 26. And look, and Rodgers got sacked 4 times and threw 4 touchdowns. So, but I think after the game, his shot at the Jet entire organization was just. I think no. You notice no one even asked any more questions after that. They were star-studded. Why does everyone forget Steelers started? Hey, DJ Mac, welcome. Started 4-2 at Fields last year. We didn't forget that, DJ Mac. Hello, welcome to the show. We don't forget that he's 4-2. But you got to admit that, at least from my perspective, Byron, how do you think Tomlin's is that good of a coach? He just didn't see something in Fields that it maybe, because if he did, he would have kept Fields. I don't think he saw something in Fields, either that or he's just buying some time with Aaron. He wants to make a move right now. But, Justin Fields played good. He was 4-2. I do believe that – I want to see what you guys' opinion. I do believe towards the end of the season, he should have gave Justin Fields a little bit more opportunity when they started going down, right? You just kept going with Russell, I think he should have made a switch somewhere when they went on that 5-game losing streak. That I agree with. What are your thoughts on that, Big Blue?
No, I agree with you there. Russell was really starting to show his age last year, I believe. And you brought the kid in. Why not, give him some more playing time? I mean, I know how it went in the first half of the season, and then, he won a couple games, Russ won a couple games. But it's like you said, when things are starting to get bad, you got to do something to make a change.
This is DJ Mac. Why does everyone forget that Steelers started 4-2 with Fields last year? That is true. But I think two things. One, they were 4-2, but I think their defense got worse as the year progressed. Didn't TJ Watt get hurt?
Yep.
Right. And then they weren't playing good football. There was a time that the Steelers were winning all the time in the fourth quarter a couple years ago. Right? You had to be careful of them in the fourth quarter. What do you think about Justin Fields, Byron?
I think he's a good fit, with the Jets now, because they want to run the ball. He can run, the quarterback that can run. Yeah, so he's a perfect fit, for them. And you figure it does get, cold in New York, and playing on that very interesting field. Hopefully, knock on wood, he doesn't get hurt messing around on MetLife up there. But I think he's a good fit for them. And he's throwing to his college teammate, Garrett Wilson, the receiver.
Yeah.
All right, so let's just go do some picks here. Let's go before we're about running on time. Share screen. Can you see that? Byron?
Not really.
Right. You can't see it? All right, I'm going to call it out anyways. See, this is what happened. I got to remember to go to this side because this is for September 4th. Now you have all these games on one side. You're killing me.
Yeah, whatever, but you'll be all right, man.
Where are the other games? No, you don't have all the games.
Yeah, it's all the way to the other way. The other way.
Where?
It says week 1, then it says week 2 on the other side. You'll see week 2, man.
I see week 2 right here.
Yeah, right there.
Right? Oh, because 11. Okay. I guess it's week 2. Okay, that's where I keep forgetting. All right, let's go. Let's go, Byron. Victor, Big Blue. Yeah. All right, let's go. All right, Commanders, Packers. What do you got, Byron?
That's Packers.
Big Blue.
Packers.
All right, Giants, Cowboys. Big Blue.
Cowboys.
Byron.
Giants. I'm going to stick with them to the bitter end.
So they show me something different.
I'm going with the Cowboys. I want those coaches to be fired. Steelers, Seahawks. I'm gonna go Steelers. Byron.
Steelers.
Big Blue. All right.
Yeah, Steelers.
Rams, Titans.
Ooh, that's tough.
Rams, Titans. Byron.
Rams.
Yeah, I'm gonna go Rams. Big Blue.
I'm gonna go Titans. That one. They're home.
Mm-hmm.
I think Pollard's gonna have to
Bills, Jets.
Bills.
Big Blue.
Bills.
I'm gonna Byron.
Jets.
Ooh.
That's funny. Oh, this is a good one. This is the match of the game. I'm gonna go right off the bat. I'm gonna go. Look at that. Put 111. Patriots. What do you got, Big Blue?
Patriots.
Byron.
Patriots.
Jags. Bengals. I'm gonna go Bengals. Byron.
Bengals.
Big
Bengals.
Blue.
Bengals.
Let me tell you something. If the Bengals start off hot, they're going to be dangerous because they usually start off really bad. 49ers and Saints, even though the 49ers are banged up.
They're still going to Niners.
Mac Jones.
Byron.
49ers. 49ers.
Browns, Ravens. Browns look pretty good. Byron.
Ravens, the big guys going to get the ball about 30 times. They're going to run a lot.
Yeah.
Yeah, until the playoffs, and then I'll give it to them less. What do you got, Big Blue?
Yeah, I'm going Baltimore with that one.
Bears, Lions. Byron, I know who you're going with.
Who am I going with?
Lions.
Bears.
That's I did that on purpose, so you got a bad slew. What do you got? What do you got, Big Blue?
I'm going Lions.
Really? Oh yeah, that's me. That's right. All right, now I got to go on this side, Byron. So I keep forgetting.
4 o'clock stuff's on the other side.
Okay, I know, but you normally put all of them on one because I can't calculate. Okay, so I got to go here. I got to fix this thing, man. All right. BBA. All right. Broncos, Colts. Byron.
Broncos.
Big Blue.
That's a tough one for me. That's tough. Daniel Jones. Why? I'm going to go Colts. I'm going to go Colts.
Yeah.
I like their defense. I like the Colts defense.
I'm going to go Colts because I don't like Sean Payton.
Wow.
Panthers, Cardinals.
Cardinals.
Panthers. They got to win
okay, Byron, I'm going to go here. All right. Eagles, Chiefs. That's a good game. Byron.
The Chiefs can't go 0-2, but they are Eagles.
Yep.
Big Blue.
I don't know. Is Taylor Swift going to be on hand?
Probably.
Yeah, right. I'm going Eagles.
Xavier Worthy is out.
Oh, yeah, definitely going Eagles.
Yeah,
Then.
I'm going Eagles. He got hurt by running into Kelsey.
Oh.
Falcons, Vikings. Byron.
Vikings.
Yeah.
Figures.
Big Blue.
Yeah.
Okay.
I'm going
Bucks,
Vikings.
Bucks, Texans. I'm gonna go with the Bucks. Byron.
Texans.
Yeah, figures. Anytime
Yeah,
I go first, he's gonna go opposite.
I'm going Texans.
All right. And then Chargers, Raiders.
Ooh.
I'm gonna go Chargers.
Chargers.
Yeah, Chargers.
He looked good. Hurd looked pretty good. I think we got them all this time, Byron. Just for the record, last week, even though we only did part of it, you were 7-3. I was 8-2, and Joey was 5-5. He just went against some crazy picks. We all lost. The Commander. No, wait a second. Why? We all picked the Giants. That's why. Yeah. All right.
Yeah.
That's our piece there. All right, hold on. Let me stop sharing that. Did it stop sharing?
Yeah, it's big.
I guess
Yeah.
I'm not. Okay. Awesome. Hey, let's get rid of this banner. All right. So we'll see how this game goes. This game looks pretty good, though. We'll see what happens. Let me tell you something. This is a statement game for the Packers. I think they just got an interception. Okay. Well, Big Blue, appreciate you coming on the show. Hope you enjoyed it. We always like having a show. Hopefully, we'll have you on. Come back onto the show. We'll talk some more. Hopefully, Chaz will improve. They need to do something. So let's hope they listen to the Jersey Boy Sports Talk, because we've been talking about the line for the last 6 years.
From your mouth to God's ears.
You know, the biggest concern I have is that their jobs are on the line. So I don't know how they're coaching, how they're, you know what I mean? Just the decision they're making, just everything. So what I would like to see, no matter what, is I'd like to see our defense get better, right? Yeah. Because we have the defensive tools to do better, right? I think if we can keep the games low enough, we got a shot, right? And if they get something clicking, we'll be fine. Byron, any thoughts on that?
Yeah, just get the game, to the fourth quarter, keep it close and, let Russ cook. That's all you can do.
Yep.
Yeah, and give some confidence, because, man, let me tell you something. I was Jackson Dart. I don't know if I'd want to be out there.
No.
So, all right, don't forget to subscribe. What's that, Byron?
Winston probably don't want to be out there either. He sees what that line looks like.
Yeah.
Yeah, man, it must be tough, having your career starting to come down and just not having luck in 3 different teams. You know what I mean? I mean, think about it. He went from Broncos to the Steelers to the Giants. So that's changed. All right. Don't forget, every Thursday we're streaming live on Facebook and on YouTube. If you like what you saw, smash the like button. Don't forget to subscribe on all our channels on Sportscast. Please share our show, Big Blue, and share it out there to your friends. And we'll always welcome back on the show. Until next week, same time, 8 o'clock, 8 p.m., Jersey Sports Talk. We are streaming out. Take care, guys. Have a great night. God bless.
Take care.